Welcome, kings and queens, to another episode of Unapologetic, your number one podcast. This is the show where kings and queens tell their legacies and on. So get ready for the gems to drop and pull up to the table because we're ready. Well, y'all already know, man, this is another episode of Unapologetic, your number one podcast. It's your favorite host, Melly Mel, yours truly, Mr. Unapologetic, here in the building. And today we have a very, very special guest, man. This queen has been in my life for a long time. She has literally raised me, y'all. She is a magnificent person, man. And I'm very humbled. I'm very proud of what she has done. She's like a mom to me, but as well, she's an advocate of the community. And I have to give her flowers while she's still among us right now, because she continues to actually turn up another level. And I do mean that. And I do mean that, y'all. But I want to give a proper intro to the one and only Miss Michelle Tyson, CEO and founder of Taking Back Muskegon. How you doing?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I am so honored to be on your show, and I am super proud of you. Like, I've watched you, and I just be like, look at my baby. That's what's up. So I love to see my kids shine. You know that. Like, everybody that came up with us and came up with you.
Right.
I just love to see all of y'all shine. So I'm super proud of you. Super proud of you.
That means a lot, for real. You're going to make me start crying on camera. Can't do that. I just got my glasses clean.
No, you just keep on doing what you're doing, and you keep your vision, and never let nobody change your vision, because you know how you want your things to be,
Oh, yeah.
And nobody has the right to tell you you can't do something. So you just keep on doing what you do.
Thank you so much, for the love. But I've been watching since day one, since you started your nonprofit organization. And I want to start off by saying I'm happy that you began, because now all the naysayers that were around you are eating every last bit of that day. Every last bit. With barbecue, you can use barbecue sauce, hot sauce, tartar sauce, and you still gonna taste that N and that A.
Well, for me, with the naysayers, that's my motivation. When you tell me something can't be done, or I can't do this because of this and that,
right?
I turn back. I'll be like, okay, God, you know what? They done said I can't do this. So me and God had that conversation, and God said, I got you. Don't even worry about it. And that's one thing I really had to learn in this, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. In the beginning, man, my feelings got hurt every time I turned around. I mean, I was like, man, I want to cry. And those that know me know I don't cry. So it's like, to get me to that level, and I really can't, I have to change. I have to change how I react to certain things. That was something new for me, because, I'm just used to popping off and be like, forget it. But in this industry, I had to really change my mindset and just start focusing on what my mission truly was, and not worry about the naysayers, because it's always going to be naysayers. You just have to be hungry enough to show them, like, look, I'm finna make you eat up everything, because right here, this bowl right here, there's some gumbo right here. You gonna love that. Finger looking good, I guarantee you.
I like that analogy, man. That was a good one. But okay, I mean, I'm thinking too fast for y'all. I'm happy right now, y'all. I'm excited. When did it all begin? Like this whole vision, you know what I'm saying, for you to begin Taking Back Muskegon. What triggered it?
What really triggered it is when we started having those mad killings in the Heights. And the one that happened at the club on Broadway, that young man, I had just met him, like, literally. And you know how I am, especially with young men trying to come off the streets. And, him and I had a deep conversation. and he had kids, and he was like, look, I really don't want to be doing this, but I gotta survive. And then for the next day, literally the next day, for him to be shot and killed in front of the club, that did something to me. So I said, you know what? It's time for us to speak out and just start taking back control of our community. Because the people are the ones that run the community for real, for real.
Right.
And if we stand up and start speaking out against certain things as a group and as a unity, then things will happen. So that year, I made a post, like meet me up at Chicken Coop. If y'all tired, meet me up at the Chicken Coop.
Right, right.
And PA, Big Rob, Bill Gill, before he passed away, this was, man, a great honor to have him walk with us for this march. And I asked him that day, why did you choose to walk with me? You barely know me. You know my grandparents, but you don't really know me.
Right.
And he was like, it was something in your voice. He was like, keep going, no matter what. Don't let nobody stop you. You just keep doing what you're doing. You're going to go far. And Mr. Gill walked with me the whole entire way.
How long was the
we started from the Chicken Coop, went to the south side, came back up, and ended up at Rowan Park. He was even willing to go with us to the projects. That's where we was gonna stop. But we ended up stopping right at Rowan Park, and he walked the whole entire way, just spitting like knowledge. And that's a day I'll never forget, because when you hear about Bill Gill, you hear about how he stood his ground for everything in Muskegon and for Black people, just to be honest,
So
he didn't back down.
So he's he's the Black advocate of Muskegon, pretty much, correct?
Yes, he was. He really
What
was.
What did he do for Muskegon? Because some of the viewers had never even heard of Muskegon.
Oh, and well, if you haven't heard of Bill Gill, I mean, wow.
Right.
It's just so much to say. Like, it's a lot of the things. He kind of, I'm gonna just say this. He laid the groundwork for us other advocates to be able to do what we are doing right now in the city of Muskegon. So if you ever just want to learn how to just be an advocate, just Google and research all the wonderful things that he did, the positions he sat on. I had an opportunity to meet one of his daughters, and she was going to try to get back in the same thing, and get out here as well. So I'm hoping she does, because I think that's a great legacy to keep going.
Yeah, for real.
So,
For
yeah.
all those generations that he has touched and changed, and it's almost like, even though that situation would happen to you triggered the start of it, he was like the I want to say the extra fuel to that fire for you. It seems like.
Yeah, just the thought of him believing in me and walking with me and talking with me,
right,
that really made me feel good. And then from there, we had Kim Sims come out, Patrice Johnson. The support started going and going. And for a minute, I stopped for a minute. And then I ended up going back and just hitting the ground. When COVID came, everybody else was starting businesses. And I'm like, you know what? I really want my own nonprofit. So I started reaching out, and that's where I met Jessie Wild. Kim Sims had introduced me to her. And this was in 2019 when I met Jessie. And I told Jessie, I was like, look, I want to start a nonprofit. And she was like, you know what? I just did my first nonprofit, helping a person get their nonprofit. She was like, okay. And from that day, me and Jessie have been like this. I called we Ebony and Ivory. Like, you see her, you gonna see me. Like, together the ideas are totally off the chain. And then I met I was telling Kim Sims how I wanted to do this. And she was like, well, it's a lot of work. And I'm like, you know what? I'm willing to do it, you know? Um, so I had asked her to sit on my board because you needed board members. And she was
Right,
like,
right.
I'm so busy right now. I don't want to commit, you know? So I was like, okay, that's cool. So she was like, but I know another guy who, you know, does a lot of stuff in the community with kids. And so I was like, who? She was like, you know, Ariana Squats. And I'm like, no, I haven't heard of him. And so I
Hmm.
went on Facebook, you know, and
Right.
found out
Research.
who he was. Yeah. And so I reached out to him. And when I reached out to him, I was like, well, I got your name from Kim Sims. And she says, you know, you do a lot of work with the kids in the community. And I was like, I want to reach out. So maybe we can collaborate. And at this time, I was doing summer safe socials and I was doing those with Johnny Lang. And we
Oh, okay.
held
Okay.
our events at Bedbugs. Shout out to Miss Miss Arnetta. Because I really appreciate it. That's where we started out, you know. We had
Oh,
the
okay. I thought it was always at the location that in East Park.
No, we
Oh, it
actually
always
started
East
out at
Park.
Bedbugs because she allowed me to start hosting my events at Bedbugs. And she was like, you know, when they start getting big, Michelle, then I'll, you know, charge you. And I was like so blessed and so thankful.
That's
And
what's up.
Johnny wanted to do, you know, he was doing sports, and me, I wanted to do things for the kids that um wasn't into sports. So we came up with a few things. We did the PlayStation tournaments. We
That's
had the
what's up.
nails and makeup, you know, for the girls. And it was really nice. We gave them cash prizes, of course, that year. So that's how we really, really started out, just
Okay.
doing that. And then we moved on to cleanups. By the time I met
I
Mr.
remember that
Watts.
one. Yeah, I joined a
Yep.
few, y'all. I joined one.
Yeah. And it was crazy because I have always been shy, and people be like, "Are you serious?" Like, yes, I've never really liked to be on the camera. I've never really liked to talk in front of people. I've just always been the type of person that's to myself.
Right,
And he was like, "Nobody gonna know what you doing if you don't get out here." He was like, "What you doing is really important." He was like, "People need to know
right.
who you are and what you're doing." So he started filming everything we was doing and putting it out there.
Okay, that's
And
what's up.
then he introduced me to his aunt, and she was like, you know, you have something. And so she started mentoring me. Dr. Smith started mentoring me. That was my first mentor in this. You know, she gave
That's
me the
good.
groundwork, the baseline, and everything, you know, the formula. But it was like, you had to do it on your own. She was like,
Right,
I'm
right.
giving you the formula, but it's up to you to really put it together and make it come out with a good solution.
Mm-hmm.
So when she gave me the formula, I really didn't understand the formula and how to make it work.
Hmm.
So the first year, we went to the East Park Manor, and when we went to East Park Manor, you know, it was it's one thing I found out. You can go to these places and ask them to, you know, pay you to provide a service. Um, but I found out when you don't do that, you get more out of it.
Hmm.
You know, because I feel like we're going to get our blessings in the end. So why would I ask these people to pay me to provide a service that I want to do for these kids?
True. That's a
So
big one right there.
it
Ooh,
is. It really is because
that
you
is
don't make
big.
money. You don't make money off of it. And I
Right?
tell everybody, nonprofits is not to make money, even though people say you got to make a little money in order to keep those doors open. And that's true. And I think right now for me, my journey is with God. So God is my supplier. He's my pusher right now, you know. So
Right.
I don't worry because I used to be the biggest worrier. Oh my God. I've been a worrier since I've been little. That's like the first things my dad used to say to me, stop worrying all the time. You worry too much. And I did. And now I've come to a place in my life where I don't worry. I
Mm.
pray about it and I let God do the rest. And ever since I've done that, God has truly blessed Taking Back Muskegon. We are in 5 different schools in the Muskegon school district. Well, 4 in the Muskegon school district. And then we still cater to our babies in the Heights. You know, I'm never going to give up on them because those my original babies. You know, they come knock on my door anytime they want to. They call me, all that. That's the type of relationship and that's the type of love that my organization provides.